All right, we are coming to you live from the White House. It is Inauguration Day, and Marine One has landed at the White House, where Trump is about to leave the White House for the final time. Marine One is now in the White House to take away the president. The outgoing President Trump will be leaving. He will be going to Mar-a-Lago now and leaving the White House for the final time on Inauguration Day. He did give an address earlier today wishing the incoming administration luck. We saw trucks leaving the White House complex ahead of Donald Trump's departure earlier, and we know that Trump is set to depart for Mar-a-Lago Resorts in Florida. He will be leaving in a short while from now.
How are you?
Now we see the security details. Security has been beefed up for today's events.
Yes, sir. So I'm doing the North Portico for Biden arrival.
We are just hours away from the inauguration of the 46th President of the United States. This is going to be an inauguration day like no other. Joe Biden is soon to be sworn in as a president, with Kamala Harris as the vice president. They'll be sworn in a couple of hours. Coming to you with the live shots from the White House, where Trump is about to depart. You can see Marine One lands in the grounds just outside the White House. President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will be sworn in today in just a couple of hours. Now, this will be taking place in a scaled-back ceremony at the U.S. Capitol. We know that the security has been beefed up for today. 25,000 troops have been deployed in the Capitol. At 78, Biden will be the oldest president to take the oath of office, to be sworn in, and he will also be the second Catholic president of the U.S. The first Catholic president was, of course, John F. Kennedy. Now, Kamala Harris will be making history today. She will be the first female U.S. vice president to be sworn in. Washington, D.C. is on high alert. All states around the country remain on high alert. This is over possible fears of new threats today. We are just waiting for outgoing President Trump to leave the White House. We're coming to you with the live visuals where Marine One has landed to take Trump and the First Lady away from the White House for the last time. Just hours from now, there'll be a scaled-back ceremony at the U.S. Capitol to swear in Joe Biden as the 46th President of the United States. It is Inauguration Day. We are bringing you all the live coverage right here on WION World as One. We are coming to you with the live visuals outside the White House, where Marine One has landed. We are waiting for President Trump to be leaving the White House. We know notably that Vice President Mike Pence is not there, as President Trump is about to depart from the White House. And in just a few hours from now, we know Joe Biden will be sworn in as the 46th President of the United States. He will be, at 78, the oldest president to take the oath of office. Biden, of course, taking over the presidency today at a time where there are big challenges facing the United States. Over 400,000 COVID deaths reported just in the United States. He has said he wants to get straight to work. Just expected to sign about 17 acts on his first day in office. Now we see Trump's belongings being carried out of the White House, all his personal effects being placed onto Marine One as he's about to leave the White House for the final time. Now we are being joined for more insights into the dynamics of the Inauguration Day. Luis Caldera joins us live from Washington, D.C. He is the former director of the White House Military Office under former President Barack Obama and former United States Secretary of the Army under Bill Clinton. Thank you for being with us. Now we are coming to you live from the White House, where President Trump is about to depart for the final time. Will you take us through some of the security concerns that are facing the Inauguration Day events today? We know 25,000 troops have been deployed and stationed in the capitals. What will the events look like today?
Well, it's always important to protect the president, and indeed it's important to protect the candidates once they become formal nominated candidates, even before that, to start providing them security, because there have been assassinations of presidents in the past and attacks on candidates. And so the last thing you want is for someone to disrupt the government and to deny the people the choice of the person they've elected to be president. So regardless of whether we would be facing the circumstances we are today, there would be a great deal of security for the president every time he moves from any point, anywhere he is in the world. This is a unique circumstance because, of course, we had the attacks on the Capitol, so there's much, much greater presence of National Guard troops, FBI surveillance, vetting of individuals who are part of these security details to ensure that there aren't individuals who are extremists within those details who might wish to disrupt the proceedings or to do the president or vice president harm.
Absolutely. We know that even though this is a celebration of democracy, the roads of Washington, D.C. are silent amidst fears of unrest. This is not usual for Inauguration Day. Usually shops are open, it's bustling with people and celebrations. Now, those celebrations have been muted for a couple of reasons. Security, of course, is one concern, but also COVID being such a huge challenge facing the U.S. at the moment.
Yes, absolutely. I've been to a couple of inaugurations, and it is usually cheek to jowl. I mean, people climb up on trees so they can get a better view. They climb up on light posts if they can. They try to press in and get as close as possible to the proceedings. And they're ticketed, so there are different ticket levels for people who get to sit on the stage, people who get to sit in chairs up close, and then it's usually standing room only from the Capitol all the way to the Washington Monument. So it is a great day. There are a lot of inaugural balls. Everybody wants to see the president and the first lady have their first dance, and sometimes they will go around to 6 or 7 different balls: the military ball, the Latino ball, the African American ball, so it is a festive day. But the incoming administration has done really everything it can do to try to do digital events across the country. That you don't have to get on a plane to come to Washington, D.C. to celebrate the fact that we have a new administration that offers a great deal of hope for dealing with the challenges that the country is facing, most notably trying to get the pandemic under control, and second of all, to get the economy moving and to offer relief to people who've been suffering because of the impact on the pandemic. But there's much more on the Biden agenda, and he's expected to sign executive orders starting today, reversing a number of Trump policies, introducing legislation on immigration, on climate change, on any number of important issues on his first day in office.
Right. And like you said, this is going to be an inauguration day like no other in U.S. history. We have seen visuals of Trump's inauguration day packed with people, throngs of people. And today there are barricades and borders around the perimeter of not just the White House, but also the Capitol and large areas of Washington. And also, we're not going to be seeing some of the other traditions, like the outgoing president welcoming the incoming president, having tea, and the tour of the facilities like they usually do.
Well, Donald Trump has broken a lot of the norms of the presidency, and he chose to break the most important one by not conceding the election when he had obviously lost, and then graciously agreeing to try to help the incoming administration get off to on the best start possible. That's actually really important, not just as a matter of graciousness and democratic norms. It's important because the U.S. is the world's superpower, and there needs to be a good handoff between the outgoing administration, the incoming administration, to make sure that there aren't national security threats, that projects that are in the works, such as the rollout of the vaccine for the pandemic, that those things go smoothly. And President Trump chose not to do that. He leaves with the lowest popularity of any president, facing another impeachment trial, facing possible criminal prosecution for his actions that incited the riot on the Capitol, and frankly for some of his business dealings that have been held in abeyance while he was president. But I think the American people are ready to turn the page. And that's one of the things that makes Joe Biden's presidency so hopeful, that I think even Republicans are divided. There are those who want to work with the new president on a bipartisan basis on things that will move the country forward. And yet there are still those who are clinging to this base that Trump excited, that is populist, that's divisive, that's a white nationalist, supremacist type base that doesn't want to accept the diversity of the United States, and that there's full equality among all people. So there is tension, but there's also great hope that people are tired of that divisiveness, and that Biden's message of unity and willing to work on a bipartisan basis is actually going to take root and help solve some of the pressing challenges that the country's facing, some which were made worse by Donald Trump, including confronting extremism. But it isn't something that we can do. It is something we can do if we're willing to work together. Right.
And Louis, we saw earlier today Trump gave an outgoing address. He didn't mention the inauguration of the new incoming president by name. He did not mention Joe Biden as the new president by name, and only said he wishes the new administration luck.
Yes, well, that's very typical of Donald Trump. His mantra is never apologize, always hit them harder. We call that a sore loser, and unfortunately, that's it's underscoring how ungracious a person he is. Not only has been as president, divisive as president, but ungracious as a human being.
Right, we saw that in not giving a concession speech. He still, as we know, has not conceded to incoming President Joe Biden. But this morning we saw him with 11th hour pardons.
Yes, Donald Trump, among other things, has abused the pardon power that is permitted to the president under the Constitution. It's one of the few powers where he is unchecked. That is, no
Right.
other branch of government.
We'll have to, let me interrupt you for a minute. WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.